YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Jazzy Time with your host Bailey. How's it going, everybody? Are you guys liking the series so far? Now that we're getting into Halloween stuff? Yes? No? Perhaps? This one is a classic. Very classic. Poison apple. But I've kind of zhuzhed it up a little bit with, you know, some glitter and some pigment to give it a little more pow other than, you know, your regular flat looking. So without further ado, let's get into the 10th day of our lovely 30 days of NAIL-O-WEEN. All right. Hey, bunny hands. Okay, I'm going to attempt to talk over this with Vinny here. He's having a good time playing with his cars, so you guys might hear him. All right, so what I have done. I have done a base coat of 1545. This is a super ruby red. It doesn't really matter the red that you use in the background. This is just the one I'm using. And now I'm going to apply a base coat over top of this because I'm going to burnish in some of this red Conundrum Martha Stewart glitter. So I'm going to apply this base coat here. And then I will pause. Make sure you get a nice coverage. Even. Cap your tip. And I'm going to cure this for 60 seconds in my LED lamp, and I will be right back. Okay, so while I'm waiting, I'm going to show you guys the brushes. So I have a brush here specifically for glitter, and I also have, this is my other pigment brush when I'm doing larger surfaces. So we are going to use pigments and glitters in this just to kind of make it a little more on the fancy side other than using just plain color. And let's not do that, Vinny. Thank you very much. So I'll show you guys the glitter while I'm waiting for the timer. So this is a Martha Stewart glitter. You can get this at Michael's. It's just a fine, really super red glittery glitter. All right. So the light just went out. So for when I do glitters, you have a designated brush, obviously. And if I don't do it over a catch tray, I'll just do it over top of the container here. And I just use my brush. You could also use a sponge, your finger, in a glove. However, I like to use brushes because I can brush off the excess. And I am just rubbing it into that tacky layer of the base coat. I find the brush helps the glitter particles lay down so that you get this very glittery, almost chromey-like surface. Hoping that'll focus. Maybe we'll zoom this in a little bit. Maybe that'll help. See how it kind of lays the glitter down flat? And having that red background color allows you to not have to do as many coats of glitter. You could definitely do a second coat. I'm only going to do a single coat of this. And then I'm going to do a little brush off. And then I'm going to do a base coat again to seal this in. When you do chromes or glitters like this, I find a base coat versus a top coat helps seal all the goodness in, if you catch my drift. Make sure you get right down the sides of the nail, cap the tip. And this helps glitters and chromes from chipping, especially if you're doing this on a client. So I'm going to cure that fully for 60 seconds. Yeah, I find when you do it with a top coat doesn't grab as well as a base coat does. So you want that extra sticky, almost like a bonder kind of sticky. So definitely utilize your base coat more than your top coat when you're doing stuff like that. Next, I'll show you guys. So We're going to do classic poison color. We're going to do some neon green, and I'm going to use pigment for that. You can use neon gel, but I find you get more opacity when you go white and then burnish your pigment into a tacky white. If you want a more vibrant pigment, use a tacky. If you want more of a pastel look, use a tacky free. That's just my little tidbit of information there, because yeah. All right, so yes, this is tacky, but I wanted to seal in that base coat. So what I'm gonna do, because we are using pigment, I am going to grab a cotton pad and I am going to wipe away the sticky layer. Yes, I know this is an oxymoron, but it's all for the purpose. And make sure you wipe it good. You want pigment to stick only to the gel that you're using. Give it a second to dry. I like to feel it, test it with my fingers. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use, not this one. I'm going to use this one. I have my 7mm detail brush, or Sheila. I have a sticky, tacky white gel paint here. And I am going to paint on with my little photo reference here, or my picture reference, my drawing. I'm not going to show you guys because it's got all my other drawings on there. I'm going to draw on my poison apple. And it's okay if you don't get your poison apple, like, you know, 100% opaque, because that pigment's going to basically cover up everything. You guys can see me? Okay, good. I like to start with the bottom little drippies. I do like the apple top. Kind of connect it a little bit, and I do like to leave little like oozy openings, you know what I mean? So that it looks really drippy. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to sort of mark off the nose here. And then I'm really going to, I want the eyes on this to look droopy. You want everything to look like it's all drippy and droopy. So, excuse me, really kind of over accentuate that when you're painting. Know what I mean? Like so. Yeah, that looks really droopy. And then this one I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Vinny's making a huge mess over here. What? Just like so. Love that. And I'm going to add a couple more drips. And how I do that, I like to load up like the end of my brush. Lots, like so. Not too much. Just enough to kind of fill the end of the brush. And then lay it down and kind of pull up. Lay it down. Pull up. And that helps you get those little drippy drop marks. Just like so. And I think something just broke. I'm gonna give it a little stem. Vinny, don't step in that. Oh my gosh. Loving being in the middle of a video and there's glass. All right, so I'm gonna cure that and pause, and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Let's have a moment of silence for my ring holder. That's what broke. So just a moment here. It was so pretty. And now it's dead. Thank God it was ceramic. It didn't bust into a million pieces. There wasn't glass everywhere. There was like 3 pieces. All right. Now you guys see why I do, you know, voiceovers or annotations over top of things, because it's not always possible to sit here and talk in a nice, peaceful, quiet environment, because I don't ever get alone time. I'm a mom. Vinny's playing with toilet paper. Wonderful. Here you go. All right, so to top off this bad boy, I'm going to use my pigment brush, the big one, because we're not really targeting any small areas. When I'm doing smaller gradients, I use it. I like to use a smaller, stiffer brush because it helps get tighter gradients. But if I'm doing a big surface like this, I use my big pigment brush. This is a cut crease brush by Elf. I got it from Walmart for a few dollars. And when you're using pigment, also, whatever's in the lid is usually enough. So I'm going to grab into the lid here. And I'm going to push this into, I'm going to grab just a little bit out of here. Push this into the tacky layer on this poison apple. Really give it that glowy look. And when I do pigments also, I know you guys have seen from other videos, I tap it in. I don't rub it. You really want to tap it and press it in. Oh yes, I like the way that looks, even without brushing it off. So I'm going to put my lid on this pigment because pigment goes everywhere if you don't save any time. And I hope it's still up here. I hope Vinny didn't run away with it, although he might have. I'm going to use my fan brush because it seems Vinny has run away with my soft bristle brush. When you're rubbing away or brushing away pigments, always use a softer brush. Never use a stiff brush, or it's just going to kind of scrape the pigment off of what you just did. Know what I mean, gentlemen? So, I love that so much. And now I'm going to top coat this with no wipe top coat, and I will BRB. Alright, so there is the glittery neon poison apple nail. I like it better than, you know, just doing red color and then, you know, I don't know. I just like to switch it up a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you guys are liking up these videos. Subscribe. Make sure you have the bell notification on. I'm posting every day in October for the 30 days of NAIL-O-WEEN. There will be 31, but, you know. Anywho's, I hope you guys all stay tuned and stay jazzy.